Welcome to the 10 Minutes Gold Mine, where every book gives you a treasure of knowledge in just 10 minutes. Birds of America, John James Audubon. Introduction. Imagine a world without photography, where the only way to capture nature's beauty was through meticulous hand-drawn illustrations. That's exactly what John James Audubon did in the early 19th century. Birds of America isn't just a book. It's a groundbreaking masterpiece that transformed how we see and understand birds. But how did Audubon manage to create such a detailed and lifelike collection? What made his work so revolutionary? Let's dive into the story behind one of the most expensive and influential natural history books ever created. Part 1. The vision behind the masterpiece. John James Audubon was more than just a bird lover. He was an artist, explorer, and scientist. Unlike others before him, he wanted to capture birds in their natural habitats, full of life and movement. Instead of stiff, unnatural poses, Audubon's birds looked like they were mid-flight, hunting, or interacting with their surroundings. Audubon wasn't satisfied with the limited illustrations available at the time. Many bird books had simple, flat drawings that didn't reflect the real essence of these creatures. He wanted something better, something that would make people feel like they were witnessing the birds in their natural world. But this wasn't just about art. Audubon knew that many species were disappearing due to hunting and habitat destruction. He wanted to document as many birds as possible before they were lost forever. His passion led him on a journey across North America, from the dense forests of Louisiana to the icy landscapes of Labrador, sketching and studying birds in the wild. He didn't just observe birds, he lived among them. Audubon spent years traveling through remote wilderness, sleeping under the stars, and facing the challenges of nature just to study his subjects up close. His commitment was unmatched, and it's what made his work so authentic. Part 2. The challenges of creation. Audubon's mission wasn't easy. He had to battle harsh weather, wild animals, and even financial struggles. Unlike scientists with government backing, Audubon had to fund his work himself. He often relied on wealthy patrons and even painted portraits to make ends meet. To create his illustrations, Audubon developed a unique technique. He shot birds, carefully arranged them with wires, and then painted them as if they were alive. It may sound harsh today, but back then, it was the only way to get such accurate details. His work captured everything from the shimmer of feathers to the fierce gaze of a hunting eagle. Once his paintings were complete, he needed to turn them into a book. But American publishers weren't interested. They thought his project was too ambitious, too expensive. So, Audubon took his work to Europe, where he found wealthy supporters who believed in his vision. In 1827, the first prints of Birds of America were published, and they immediately became a sensation. Printing the book was another challenge. Unlike ordinary books, Audubon's illustrations were massive. Each page was about 3 feet tall, making it nearly impossible for standard publishers to produce. He had to use a special printing technique called aquatint engraving, which allowed his paintings to be reproduced with incredible detail. This process was slow and expensive, but it ensured that the beauty of his work was preserved. Part 3. Why Birds of America is so special. Unlike previous bird books, Birds of America was a visual revolution. The book contained 435 hand-colored prints, covering over 700 bird species. What made these illustrations unique was their scientific accuracy combined with artistic beauty. Audubon's birds weren't just static images, they were alive with movement. A hunting hawk locked onto its prey, a flamingo dipped its beak into the water, and a woodpecker clung to a tree in the middle of action. These details made his work stand out, giving audiences a glimpse into the real behavior of birds. Some of the birds Audubon documented are now extinct, like the Carolina parakeet and the passenger pigeon. His work remains one of the only visual records of these lost species, making Birds of America an invaluable piece of history. Over time, Birds of America became one of the most expensive books in history. Some copies have sold for over $10 million at auctions, making it a rare collector's treasure. But its real value isn't just in the money, it's in the way it changed the world's understanding of nature. Audubon's work also helped inspire a greater appreciation for wildlife conservation. His detailed observations of bird behavior provided valuable insights for scientists. Even today, ornithologists study his illustrations to compare historical bird populations with modern ones. Part 4. Audubon's Legacy and Impact. Audubon didn't just create a book, he sparked a movement. His work inspired future generations of bird watchers, conservationists, and artists. Today, the National Audubon Society, named in his honor, continues to fight for bird conservation across the world. His influence can be seen everywhere, from school textbooks to nature documentaries. Even modern wildlife photographers owe a debt to Audubon's vision. His dedication showed that studying and appreciating nature isn't just for scientists, it's for everyone. But Audubon's legacy is not without controversy. While his artistic contributions are undeniable, some criticize his methods of shooting birds for study. Others point out that his writings contained attitudes that reflected the prejudices of his time. Like many historical figures, his work must be viewed in the context of his era. Despite this, Birds of America remains one of the greatest achievements in natural history. It represents a turning point in how we document and appreciate the world around us. Part 5. The book's rarity and modern influence. Very few original copies of Birds of America exist today. Only about 120 complete sets are known to survive, housed in museums, universities, and private collections. Because of its rarity, the book continues to fetch record-breaking prices at auctions. Even modern digital tools can't fully replace the artistic craftsmanship of Audubon's work. His hand-painted illustrations capture a depth and realism that modern photography sometimes struggles to match. Many artists still study his techniques, trying to replicate the magic he brought to each page. In the age of technology, would Audubon have adapted to new methods? Would he have embraced digital art, photography, or video? While we can only speculate, his passion for capturing nature's beauty would likely remain unchanged. Conclusion. Birds of America isn't just a collection of bird paintings, it's a story of passion, perseverance, and the desire to capture nature's beauty before it fades away. Audubon's journey reminds us how important it is to document and protect the world around us. But what do you think? If Audubon were alive today, how do you think he would capture birds, with photography, digital art, or still traditional paintings? And do you believe his methods, like hunting birds for study, were justified for the sake of science? Let's discuss in the comments. That's it for today's 10 Minutes Gold Mine. If you found value in this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep mining for more golden knowledge. See you in the next one.